Okay, so now you decided you're going to be all in law school.
Mhm.
How, what's the decision to go? What law school are you? How do you choose what law school to go to? So I know for myself, it was like 4 or 5 law schools who accepted me, but Michigan State just gave me the most money. It was a 75% scholarship. So I
Yep.
think law school for me was like 110 grand, and they were essentially giving me 82,000, and no one else was doing that. So that made my decision very easy. Plus, I was already familiar with the campus and things like that. So for you, what was your decision? And things that you consider when making your decision to go to law school, or what law school to go to?
Yeah, so I didn't really even know about law schools, honestly. Like I think I saw Legally Blonde like the day before we went to Michigan State. 'Cause I was like, people are gonna be talking about it, so I should probably get some, some background info on it. No, but I didn't know about law schools. I knew about Harvard Law and I
Yeah.
knew about Georgetown. And the reason why I knew about Georgetown is because they offered scholarship while I was in high school, and I'm not going here. And they said, hey, if you come in our program, it sets you up with a really great opportunity to potentially go into our law school. My dad was like, "Yo, Georgetown Law School is one of the best in the world,"
Right.
and that was the end of my exposure. So fast forward, to time to apply. I'm applying to law schools left and right. I applied to 27 schools.
Wow.
Yeah, and got
It's a lot more than what
waitlisted.
I applied to.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I was, by the grace of God, hustling. So it was like I found out you could get fee waivers based on how high your test scores were.
Okay.
And so because of that, I only paid for one application, and I was to Harvard. And I think I was like all I had to was like the 150 bucks or whatever it was. And so I gave that to them. Somebody put that in their pocket and sent me a rejection notice, back in like 30 minutes or so. But I applied to 27 schools, man, got rejected or waitlisted by all but one, Michigan State.
Wow.
And Michigan State gave me a scholarship offer too. And I remember I waited till the very last minute to accept. 'Cause I was like, man, I'm waitlisted for, Penn State, for some other ones, for William and Mary. And, I remember the deadline for accepting my scholarship to Michigan State had passed by like 3 weeks or so. And I ain't getting no other offers. And so the lady was like, hey, we just want to know what went wrong. Why did you choose not to go to us so we can build our program? By the grace of God. And again, I ain't had no other option. So I was like,
Right.
wait, I sent in my acceptance. I hit him with that. Yeah, you didn't get my message. so, so I was like, oh no, actually, I sent it in. I haven't been able to get in contact with her. What y'all got going on? So the lady was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Well, we'll still honor it. I was like, hey, you better. So,
Hold on. So you the only school that accepted you, you didn't reply to them.
I didn't reply to them. Yeah. And I
Wow.
looked, and then like I started getting no's and stuff. And then like, call it, a month or two before graduation. I was like, oh man, crap, what am I gonna do? So,
Hey, but out of curiosity, why not? And this is interesting because when I was doing my first summer internship, summer associate, after that first year in law school, and kind of about this,
mhm.
uh, I was I had agreed to work at a different firm, but a better opportunity that I just couldn't say no to came just came about afterwards, and I actually had to rescind my offer at the initial spot that I
Mhm.
initial law firm that I agreed to work for that summer. So I guess why not take that approach where maybe agree or accept their offer, but if something had opened up, not saying that that's a preferable route to go. Obviously, your words in a lot of cases, or in most cases, if not all cases, should kind of mean something. And
Mhm.
but why? I guess why not take that approach to at least guarantee that you're going to be somewhere?
Well, it's funny you said that. It was in your first internship, but by then we had taken the contracts course. So it's purely just a game of I didn't know. I had no idea. And looking back on it, the safe approach would have been to say, hey, I'm gonna accept. And then, if something doesn't come down the road, then I'm good to go. But you just didn't know. I didn't have
Okay.
any idea. I had no idea about,
Right.
how to handle law school,
Okay.
or, how to get from Michigan State to Georgetown, or I didn't know any. I was Googling everything. I
Right.
didn't have any people in my family. The only mentor, like I said, Arnold, he went to Georgia State, which was good law school. But I mean, as far as advice, two parts to that. Number one, early on, as I'm sure most people do, you don't realize the value of mentors, and that if you have somebody who's, willing to talk to you about anything, man, bother them until, they tell you to beat it. Because in
Right.
my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm only going to this cat, once every 6 months to make sure I don't wear out my welcome, and
Right.
it's really not the case, but I just didn't understand. So had I to talk to him more, maybe I would have had a little bit more info and input. But other than that, I didn't have anyone else. My dad was an IT guy. He's a really great IT guy, but
Right.
it's just law. And so, I mean, I didn't know any lawyers. There are no lawyers. I'm the only one that I know of in my family. And so, you had your cousin, so you could at least lean on him for stuff.
Right.
He said the thing I leaned on was prayer and Google.
Right.
So
No, and